Alright, it's time for the real RavensFilm update instead of the little iPhone thing I put up the other night because I was just feeling way too tired to deal with the extensive thing like I do with the regular reviews, the importing footage, editing stuff, converting it, uploading it. Too much time when I was too tired, and my knees hurt, and they still kind of hurt from hitting the pavement and skidding my knees, coming out of a place, doing an errand that ended up not being worth the trouble. Because let's get up to date here, get you a little bit of detail on what things are going to be going forward here in the near future here, hopefully. Because I didn't promise that I would do possibly a third vampire-themed review. And it's been a bit of a process here because there was a certain film that I was going to review, but I still had to finish up the Fright Night review, and then I had to do Deadpool, and things kind of waned a little bit on that front. And then I decided, for whatever reason, got very heavily gravitated towards a different film that didn't end up panning out. And the only thing is, I ended up purchasing some Blu-rays for these Go Nowhere adventures, but it's nice to have a little upgrade here, so it's more DVDs I gotta sell off now, whenever the hell I actually decide to sell them off for whatever purpose. But originally it was going to be a review of Bram Stoker's Dracula, because I've had that poster on the wall for like 2 seasons of Forever Horror Month. Kind of got the feeling for it, but like I said, Fright Night had to get that finished, then Deadpool, and by things got waned out, I just didn't quite have the pull towards doing this film. I haven't watched it in so long, but I've seen my friend Oliver Harper's retrospective on it, and that's a very good one. And it was a bit of a push and pull on that, trying to figure out if I really had something fresh to say about it. And things ended up not quite keeping the momentum going for the interest to do it. And then, by obvious of the poster that's up here, for whatever reason, I got so suckered into... I've seen the Underworld films. I've seen them all, and I have varying opinions of things, but I got so gravitated towards wanting to do a review of the first Underworld film, and it's a long history here because I've done written reviews for all 4 films. And in the first few months I was doing the video reviews here, I attempted to shoot a full franchise spanning retrospective. Didn't quite turn out very well, at least in terms of where it was when I reviewed the footage. It just didn't come off very well, and I ended up deleting it. It's like, not gonna worry about it. Then last year I attempted to do it again, and it was starting to turn into a very overly long mess that would have probably rivaled what I ended up doing with the Terminator stuff. And it just felt like partway through shooting the thing, it just felt like this is getting far too long-winded to do a full franchise retrospective, so I canned that. And today I was getting all revved up and like kind of thinking about it and getting into the mood for whatever reason, just little signs, every so often there's just signs that keep popping up all over the place, keep kind of like driving you towards something. It's like something is trying to tell me something. Some bizarre cosmic force in the universe is trying to tell me something. Apparently I read the signs wrong, because like I said, I've seen all the Underworld films and I don't have the highest opinions of them, but I own a couple of them. But I think in general they're mediocre films that could have been a lot better if there was a bit of a stronger creative force behind it. And trying to watch the film again for an analysis, because I'm fine watching the Underworld films, at least the first 3, just for entertainment purposes. Just sit down, relax, not think about things too much, and just enjoy them for the kind of films that they are. But sitting down and trying to analyze it so much, I started writing down notes. It's like 99% of what I'm going to talk about in this review so far, 99% of my notes are all very negative criticisms. I just could not turn off that part of my brain obviously that's not something that you should turn off. When you're trying to do an analytical review, you should approach it. If there's things you see that are wrong with the film, certainly you go after and mark it. But just like, if I want to do a review that I'm passionate about, I really want to do, put all the effort and hours into it, I gotta have something that's positive to motivate me into doing it. It's not like there aren't good elements in the Underworld first film there. But watching the first hour of the film, just like there were so many things that kept popping in my head, stuff I'd never thought about before, that just kept showing all the little derivative things about storyline and various other things that just like I could not turn off the deep-seated criticisms I've had for years about the films. Like I said, I can just settle down and watch it and not analyze it. But if I'm going to analyze it and keep coming up with all these things, just like it was turning me off to it. And long and short of it is just like I got about halfway through the film and I just paused it to walk out of the room to do something else and just figured I don't want to go back to it right now. I'd be fine if I just sat there and just shut off and just shut myself off and just watched it as a film itself and just had a fine time with it. But just like I just couldn't get into the thing to actually motivate myself to do a review if I was going to be bogged down with a lot of negativity and a lot of heavy criticism that is kind of picking it apart here and there. I just didn't quite want to get to that for the good things that I think the film does have in terms of all the fantastic effects it has. Len Wiseman might not be the best director out there. Films usually lack a certain amount of charisma, a certain amount of just wit, whatnot. But he's great with making some very great practical looking effects in his film, and it's definitely one of the things in the film, like some decent action. And the two actors who really do the best work of the film, Michael Sheen and Bill Nye, don't show up Bill Nye doesn't show up until about 55 minutes into the film, and Michael Sheen does not have enough content in the film, so it's like I just couldn't get myself into it. That's my review of the film. How's that for you? But it's like I always thought that anyone who's just going into the Underworld films probably should watch the prequel first, The Rise of the Lycans, because first time I watched Underworld, this is the whole review here. This is the easier way to do it. Just lay back and not talk about things in depth, just like run off the top of my head about random shit. But first time I watched the first Underworld, I was so confused. I was so confused about where this narrative was going, because it felt like you had to decipher the plot every 5 minutes to figure out where it was going. Because you keep seeing all these people, all these twisted loyalties and deceptions going on. It's like 1 second someone looks like they're on the good guy's side, next second they'll look on the bad guy's side, but then the guy it's a complicated mess to watch it the first time, and I hated the film the first time. It wasn't until I saw Evolution, the second film, that was a bit better. It's a little bit more inventive action sequences, not as much more thinner on the plot, but it was a bit more of an entertaining film that really kind of get the point across of just being an action movie. And I went back and watched the first film. I was like, now I kind of understand where it's going. Don't think it's a great film, but let's just put it that. If you were to watch the prequel first and then move into the first film, the landscape would be much more clearly conveyed to you about where everything goes, and you can just kind of maybe attach yourself to the character Celine and just follow her as she deciphers everything. So, Jesus Christ, that was longer than I expected this thing to go on. But fact of the matter is, that's it. I'm moving on from the vampire stuff, because you know what? There's not enough Schwarzenegger on this channel. There's not enough Schwarzenegger reviews on this channel, because all I've done really is like Escape Plan and the Terminator films. I need more Schwarzenegger here. We need Arnold Schwarzenegger on this channel more. And you're going to get some. I got a bug to do a couple of Schwarzenegger film reviews. I'm not going to say which ones, but I do have an itch to tackle a little bit of Arnold here. So there's going to be a few interesting reviews, a little bit different ones than you might expect, but kind of want to do a couple of his films here. So I want to jump into something action-packed, charismatic, fun, entertaining, explosive, everything like that. And that's an Arnold Schwarzenegger film. At his best, that's Arnold. So I'm going to get some Arnold Schwarzenegger reviews here, and starting sometime in the next few days. Because I'm going to be at work the next few days, and it's going to be a little harder to get everything sorted out to do a review, but we'll see how soon I jump on it. But this is another one of those things to fill in the gap. At least this gives you a little bit more of a sense where things are going. And maybe by the time Forever Horror Month comes around, I'll have picked out another vampire film or two to kind of pick up on things here and there. I might do Bram Stoker Dracula at that time from this new classic cinema series release, which is a much more of a restored version with a little bit of they adjusted some of the color timing. I think it was overseen by someone or whatnot. I don't know. But they put much more in-depth work into it, 4K remaster, and there's a few new extras on it from Coppola and stuff like that. So it's like something I'd really like to dig deeply into, take the time to watch a lot of that content, because I haven't seen the film fully in years. I've had the collector's edition DVD for a long time, but the Blu-ray, it's a nice upgrade, even though if the cover art is, where the hell I put it, the cover art for the dang thing is just kind of doesn't do much for you, especially when I have, if you've seen any of the Forever Horror Month reviews. That's a beautiful poster. It's gorgeous. That's why I have that blood red title in the black and gray etchings, everything. Beautiful. Let's take a photo of from the film on it. It looks kind of cheap. But I picked it up for $12.99, and then I see at Best Buy a couple days later, oh, they dropped the price to $10. That pissed me off. But a little bit of Blu-ray update here. Got a few titles. Not much, but at least going to hunt down. It took forever to fucking hunt down the damn Underworld Blu-ray. I have the DVDs, but I was just like, I just had to get the update. Had to get the HD version. Couldn't find it anywhere except one place. And at least, if that didn't turn out, I at least got the Liam Neeson film Run All Night for $10, which usually it runs like $22.99 at most places, full price. So it's like, I enjoyed the film. It wasn't perfect, but I like to have a little bit more Liam Neeson action going on. And Ed Harris was the fucking shit in this movie, man. The guy was delivering on all cylinders for this film. However, not great it was, but still, it had a lot of potential. I like seeing Liam Neeson and Jean-May Collet-Serra, who've done Unknown and Nonstop before this. The guy gets better with every film, so it's like he's progressed, and I like that. I kind of like this team up that they take a few jumps every single film. As a filmmaker that does kind of refine his style as things go on, it might still have a few wonky elements, but I thought this was good. I enjoyed this film, and it's like, if it got down to a good price, I was willing to buy it. It's like $9.99. It's worthwhile. So, and of course, Ridley Scott, The Martian. I haven't watched it at all, but it's like, it was selling for $15, and it's like, that's a good deal for a brand new release Blu-ray. And I decided, to hell, go get it. And lastly, with the Blu-rays anyway, I have a little something extra for you guys. Something a little offbeat, but did say I would upgrade The Amazing Spider-Man when the time came. So I got the soundtrack from James Horner here, and the Blu-ray edition. So there we go. Nice update there. And again, I've got like a bag of CDs and a few DVDs sitting in the back of my car, just waiting for the moment where I really want to just trade something in, you know. But it's like I keep going to the damn disc replay. It's like, there's nothing here I want to fucking buy. They just don't have anything. And if there is anything, it's like, it's nothing that I really have to trade in anything to kind of make it worth a purchase, like $4 or $5 or something like that. Why am I going to trudge in 20 CDs or something like that to buy a $5 disc or whatnot? So it just sit in my back of my car, and it's starting to annoy me. I just want to get rid of them, but I don't want to do anything with them. But as many times as I've been to a disc replay in the last week, I should have done something with them, but I just kept not finding what I was wanting to find and everything. But I'm going to do a little something extra here, because this is not extensive, but I still have a few VHS titles that I have, which are all kind of like very much mostly off the grid type of stuff. Nothing terribly mainstream, but it's like I was sprucing some things up, and I was kind of thinking about doing a different type of video, but it really wasn't going to work out, whatnot. But just have them sitting here, and I just like, why the fuck not? I got a couple of VHS titles here, and I got Alice in Chains, the live facelift VHS tape, which is just a short concert they did in Seattle in like '91 or something like that, and it's a fantastic little concert here, which also has a couple of music videos at the end of it, which includes a different version of the Sea of Sorrow video, which is all in color and has completely different takes, completely different style to it, with still some footage that was reused for the official black and white video that was put out, but videos for We Die Young and Man in the Box as well. Alice in Chains is my favorite band of all time now. It used to be tied with Metallica, but Metallica, I'll just say, has been fell down on a slope for me. And it's like I don't follow much of what they do anymore, but I just saw that they're finally remastering the first couple of albums, and it's taken way too damn long for them to do that. So let's hope it turns out pretty well on that end. But I do have the Live Shit Vision Purge VHS CD box set over there. When I lent it to some friends, and they kind of messed it up a tad bit. But review I did, speaking of vampire films, the one I didn't think was terribly good was The Understudy Graveyard Shift 2, and just didn't think it was a very well put together film, but very interesting that the director of Graveyard Shift and Graveyard Shift 2 actually contacted me. He saw my review of the first film and actually contacted me and gave me a little bit of behind the scenes information that apparently the producers he worked with on both films kind of swindled him in a certain way. Not monetarily, but creatively, really kind of mucked up what he was trying to do with both films. That he tried to do something with the first film. It didn't turn out, and he got suckered back in with the same people, and they really just messed it up the second time. So, what was his name? It'd be nice if I could offer his name here. It's George Sicaridi. I'm sorry, that's Italian. I didn't even try pronouncing my review because I knew I was going to fuck it up. But George Sicaridi, Sicorcia. See, it's an Italian name. I'll see if this thing will focus in on it. It's right down there. I know I shouldn't have done that. I butchered his name. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I butchered his name. I'm terrible. But it was very interesting to just see the email pop up. I was like, shit. And I had a nice little conversation. And not extensive, but a few little emails back and forth and everything. And it was kind of interesting. It was kind of nice. He contacted me about 2 months after I had done the review. So it was like, that was very interesting. And regardless of that, so I've had a few little brushes with people from the movie industry, the mainstream movie industry. When I was running the Forever Horror website, but from 98 to 2008, I had been in contact with director Rick Boda, who did the 7th and 8th Hellraiser films. Also director of photography. He was director of photography on the House, a Haunted Hill remake. We got in a bit of a dialogue for a while. He was it was over 10 years, so I don't think it matters or anything, that he was kind of like giving me a little bit of updates about, because at that time, I guess there was some kind of distribution nightmare going on with Dimension Films and whatnot. I think this might have been at the time when Weinsteins were kind of breaking away from Miramax and Buena Vista, Disney, all that type of stuff. And I think there was kind of this release date hell where things kept shifting around and getting pushed back and delayed. So he was giving me regular updates about that and kind of helping debunk some false information out there. While I had a little bit of learning curve to kind of make sure that his name didn't get directly associated with of my source. But unfortunately, last thing I tried to do with him was try to get an email interview with him, and he never responded back to me after that. So even though he agreed to it, never got back to me. But regardless of that, that's interesting. And I was in contact with New Line Cinema executive Jeff Katz around the time of 2003 to 2004. So running the website at the time, I helped debunk something about the Freddy vs. Jason film, some kind of rumor that was false. And he ended up sending me and my co-webmaster Joey Benedetto Freddy vs. Jason posters, which I have framed in my closet. Let's just say that. It's the only room I have for it, but it's framed. And ended up hearing a lot about that phantasm, whatever the hell was going on between New Line and Coscarelli at the time. They were trying to work out some deal for some kind of pseudo, quasi, not sort of reboot type of thing. I don't know what the hell it was, but it fell through and it didn't work. And he actually questioned me about it, with being as vague as I just was there, how I would feel about it. It's like, I just as vague as I could offer. But those were my brushes and everything. And this is almost 20 minutes long, so let's breeze through the last couple things and get out of here. But I jacked back VHS that I got because the thing had not been available on digital format until recently. And Shout Factory has it on Blu-ray and DVD, but I always feel like Shout Factory releases, probably just because they spend so money on the licenses, their prices are a little bit higher than they probably should be. And it's like, I'm just waiting for the Jacksback Blu-ray to go on sale. I don't want to already pay $20 for it when it's not like it's a massive special edition. And it's kind of I don't know. I got the Army of Darkness 3-disc Blu-ray set for less money than that at Best Buy. So it's like, that's kind of off wonk and everything. So, and the Christopher Lambert and Ice-T film Mean Guns from Albert Puyan. I love this fucking movie. It was part of the inspiration for Kill Shot, the web series I attempted to put together several years ago. And goddamn, they need Shout Factory needs to get the hold of this, because this thing needs a widescreen release. All you can get, aside from like a Japanese Laserdisc release or something like that, is just pan and scan from a CinemaScope shot anamorphic film. This is why I only keep onto the damn VHF tape. I'm not gonna buy the DVD for the exact same transfer this thing has in pan and scan. Give it to me. And last couple things is I always liked Red Shoe Diaries. I always do. I got DVDs and everything, and I just happen to have one of the sets on VHS. It was my late Saturday nights in the 90s, and there you go. And utter garbage. I was all into Spawn in the 90s. It was one of the first comic books I ever owned, and I have the VHS widescreen director's cut. And this is as far as I need to go. This does not need to be upgraded. I probably haven't watched this in like 16 years. It's not a good movie. I don't want to do anything with it. I'm just going to sit there and collect dust till the end of time. And last but not least, another film I reviewed was Warlock, which also needs a United States widescreen release. Because just like Mean Guns from the same freaking studio, which is now Lionsgate, Trimark and all over to Artisan and now Lionsgate, don't want to put out a decent version of this film on any physical media. It's all pan and scan, and this is one of those like SP tapes where the cheap way they put out VHSs in like the late 90s, where you don't get the image quality as good because they're using less tape. So, whatever the case, that's all I got for VHS. And I got like 15 or so like Star Trek Next Generation, mostly Deep Space Nine episodes on VHS, and a couple of little things over there in my Star Wars box sets, which I've shown in a video from about 3 years ago. You can go watch that, which is not entirely up to date. I've got rid of I got rid of my prequel DVDs. Let's just say that straight out. That's all I've gotten rid of. So, and soon we'll have Force Awakens on Blu-ray. So there you go. But that's all I got for you guys at this time. It's a long thing, but it's kind of interesting. Quasi update and collection video and everything. So that's different. That's different. It's worth the wait. It fills a gap. So that's all I got for you now. So Schwarzenegger is coming to the damn channel here. Not him. I'm not gonna have Schwarzenegger in my room. But Schwarzenegger films will be featured in Framer Cinematic Reviews in the near future. And hopefully, they'll probably do the Predator movie franchise retrospective, which if I do it, it will lightly touch on the AVP films. I mainly want to focus on the three main Predator films, Predator, Predator 2, and Predators, and probably just mention a little bit of the AVP films as a connective tissue in there. Really don't feel like delving into those much. I'm not going to rewatch the AVP films for this retrospective, because who cares? So, anyway, that's all I got. Long video, but hopefully it was entertaining. And you can see I'm in much better spirits, despite the fact that it is right now 1:20 a.m. So I gotta get to sleep soon and go to work tomorrow. So, thanks guys for watching. I'll be back soon. Thanks for just being patient as well. So, take care. Bye-bye.